I never thought I'd be the one to destroy everything. But here I am, sitting in my car outside David's apartment, my hands trembling on the steering wheel. The Seattle rain drums against the windshield, matching the rhythm of my racing heart. I should turn around and go home to Michael. My husband. The man who has loved me unconditionally for the past 10 years. Instead, I find myself reaching for my phone, typing out a message to David, "I'm here." 3 months ago, if someone had told me I'd be having an affair with my husband's best friend, I would have laughed. Michael and I were perfect, at least that's what everyone said. High school sweethearts who made it work. The couple everyone envied. But perfection, I've learned, is exhausting. It started innocently enough. David came over one evening when Michael was working late, another deadline at his tech company. We'd known each other for years, after all. He was Michael's best man at our wedding. "Sarah, you seem different lately," he said, pouring us both a glass of wine. I remember how his eyes held mine a moment too long. "Different how?" "Sad. Like you're carrying something heavy." And just like that, the walls I'd carefully built started to crack. Because he was right. I was sad. Lonely. Michael was brilliant at his job, climbing the corporate ladder at his software company. But somewhere along the way, I'd become a footnote in his success story. Our conversations had devolved into scheduling conflicts and household logistics. Date nights became rare, then non-existent. I told myself it was normal, that all marriages go through phases. But sitting there with David, someone finally saw me. Not as Michael's wife. Not as the successful real estate agent. Just me. The wine made everything softer, more honest. "I miss feeling alive," I whispered, not even sure he could hear me. But he did. His hand found mine across the kitchen island. "You deserve to feel alive, Sarah." I should have pulled away. Should have thanked him for listening and shown him to the door. Instead, I let my fingers intertwine with his. That was the beginning of the end. What followed was a dance of stolen moments and secret messages. Coffee meetings that lasted too long. Accidental touches that weren't accidental at all. Each time, I told myself it would be the last. Each time, I went back for more. The guilt was constant, a weight in my chest that never quite went away. But so was the thrill. The way David looked at me made me feel 20 again. Desired. Alive. We were careful, or so we thought. Meeting in places where we wouldn't be recognized. Using private messaging apps. Creating elaborate covers for our time together. I became an expert at lying. Yoga class, I'd tell Michael. Showing houses to clients. Girls' night with Rachel. Each lie came easier than the last. Michael trusted me completely, which made everything worse. He'd kiss me goodbye in the morning, tell me he loved me. And I'd smile, the guilt churning in my stomach. But I couldn't stop. David had become like a drug. The high of our encounters overshadowed everything else. Until tonight. Sitting in my car, I watch as the light in David's apartment flicks on. My phone buzzes with his response, "Come up." I check my makeup in the rearview mirror, touching up my lipstick. The woman staring back at me looks both familiar and foreign. Is this who I've become? Someone who sneaks around in the dark? Who betrays the person who loves her most? But I'm already opening my car door, already walking toward his building. The elevator ride to the 5th floor feels eternal. My heels click against the polished floor of the hallway, each step an echo of my heartbeat. David opens the door before I can knock. He looks good, he always does. Designer jeans, casual button-down shirt, that smile that started all of this. I was starting to think you wouldn't come, he says, pulling me inside. His lips find mine before the door even closes. And for a moment, I forget everything else. The guilt, the lies, Michael, it all fades away. But later, much later, as I lie in David's bed watching the city lights flicker through his window, reality crashes back. My phone shows 3 missed calls from Michael. A text, hope your yoga class was good. Made your favorite pasta for dinner. Love you. The words blur as tears fill my eyes. What am I doing? David stirs beside me, his hand tracing patterns on my bare shoulder. Stay, he whispers. And God help me, I want to. But I can't. Not tonight. I slip out of his bed, gathering my clothes from where they're scattered across his floor. Sarah, he calls as I'm getting dressed. We need to talk about this. About what? Us. This situation. We can't keep sneaking around forever. My hands freeze in the act of buttoning my blouse. There is no us, David. This is just. But I can't finish the sentence. Because what is this? An affair? A mistake? The biggest regret of my life? Or something else entirely? I'm falling in love with you, he says quietly. The words hit me like a physical blow. Don't, I whisper. Please don't say that. It's true. And I think you feel it too. I grab my purse, needing to escape. I have to go. Michael's waiting. Of course he is, David says, his voice bitter. He's always waiting, isn't he? But is he really there? His words follow me out the door, down the elevator, into my car. Because he's right. Michael is always waiting, but he hasn't really been there for a long time. Or maybe I haven't let him be. The drive home is a blur of streetlights and guilt. I park in our driveway, taking a moment to compose myself. To become the Sarah that Michael knows. Or thinks he knows. The house is quiet when I enter. A plate of pasta sits covered on the counter, long cold. Michael is asleep on the couch, high. S laptop still open on his chest. He must have been waiting up for me. I should wake him, tell him to come to bed. Instead, I stand there, watching him sleep. Remembering the boy who asked me to homecoming with a bouquet of daisies. The man who proposed on a beach at sunset. The husband who still leaves little notes in my coffee cup every morning. And suddenly, I can't breathe. The weight of what I'm doing, what I've done, crushes me. I run to the bathroom, barely making it before I throw up. The tile is cold against my knees as I sob, trying to keep quiet so I don't wake him. How did I get here? When did I become this person? My phone buzzes in my pocket. A text from David, I meant what I said. I delete it without responding. But as I crawl into bed beside my sleeping husband, I know something has to change. I can't keep living this double life. I can't keep hurting the people I love. Tomorrow, I tell myself. Tomorrow I'll end it with David. Tomorrow I'll recommit to my marriage. Tomorrow I'll fix everything. But as I drift off to sleep, another text lights up my phone. From David, meet me for coffee tomorrow? We need to talk. And despite everything, despite all my promises to myself, I find myself typing, okay. Because the truth is, I'm not sure I want to fix things. I'm not sure I can go back to being just Michael's wife. Not now that I've remembered who Sarah is. Not now that I've tasted what it feels like to be truly seen. Even if it means destroying everything I've built. Even if it means becoming the villain in my own story. Because sometimes, the hardest person to forgive isn't the one who hurt you. It's yourself. And as I lie there in the dark, listening to Michael's steady breathing beside me, I wonder if I'll ever forgive myself for what I'm about to do. For the choices I've already made. For the heart I'm going to break. Maybe his. Maybe mine. Maybe both. The Seattle rain continues to fall outside our window, washing away another day of lies. Another night of secrets. Another piece of who I used to be. Tomorrow will bring more choices, more lies, more moments of truth and betrayal. But for now, I close my eyes and pretend. Pretend I'm still the woman Michael married. Pretend I deserve his love. Pretend I'm not falling for his best friend. Pretend I'm not about to lose everything. Because sometimes pretending is easier than facing the truth. And the truth is, I'm already lost. The morning light filters through our bedroom window, and I watch as Michael gets ready for work. His routine hasn't changed in 10 years. Shower at 6:30. Coffee at 6:45. Kiss goodbye at 7 o'clock. But today feels different. Maybe because I know I'm meeting David at 9 o'clock. Maybe because I spent half the night crying in our ensuite bathroom. You okay? Michael asks, adjusting his tie. You seem quiet. I force a smile. Just tired. Yoga was intense last night. Another lie. They come so easily now. Don't forget we have dinner at Rachel's tonight, he says, leaning down to kiss my forehead. I'd completely forgotten about my sister's dinner party. David will be there. Of course he will be. He's Michael's best friend. That's what makes this whole thing so much worse. After Michael leaves, I spend too long getting ready for coffee. Trying on different outfits. Fixing my makeup. Hating myself for caring how I look. The coffee shop is busy when I arrive. David is already there, 2 cups waiting on the table. He knows my order by heart now. Vanilla latte, extra shot, no foam. You look beautiful, he says as I sit down. I wish he wouldn't say things like that. It makes everything harder. We need to stop this, I say, but my voice lacks conviction. He reaches across the table, his fingers brushing mine. Do you really want to? No. Yes. I don't know anymore. It doesn't matter what I want, I whisper. This isn't right. What's not right is pretending to be happy when you're not. His words hit too close to home. I am happy, I protest, but we both know it's a lie. Sarah, he says, his voice soft. When was the last time you and Michael really talked? I open my mouth to answer, then close it again. Because I can't remember. He loves me, I say instead. I'm not saying he doesn't. But loving someone and seeing them are 2 different things. The truth of his words stings. David, please. I see you, Sarah. All of you. Not just the perfect wife everyone thinks you are. Tears threaten to spill over. We can't keep doing this. Tonight at Rachel's. I know, he says. We'll be careful. But we both know careful isn't enough anymore. The coffee grows cold between us as we sit in silence. Both knowing we should end this. Both knowing we won't. When I finally leave, he catches my hand in the parking lot. Pulls me close. Kisses me like he's drowning and I'm air. And I let him. God help me, I let him. The rest of the day passes in a blur of real estate showings and paperwork. But my mind keeps drifting back to that kiss. To tonight's dinner. To the web of lies I've woven around myself. Rachel's house is already full when we arrive. The sound of laughter and clinking glasses spills out onto the porch. Michael's hand is warm on my lower back as we walk in. David is by the fireplace, talking to our friend Tom. Our eyes meet for just a moment. Long enough for my heart to skip. Long enough for guilt to flood my system. Sarah. Rachel pulls me into a hug. You look gorgeous, sis. She smells like wine and her signature perfume. Thanks for having us, I say, hugging her back. If she notices how tightly I'm holding on, she doesn't mention it. Dinner is an elaborate affair. Rachel always goes all out. I end up seated between Michael and Amy, David's sister. David is directly across from me. The irony isn't lost on me. The conversation flows easily. Work stories. Neighborhood gossip. Plans for summer vacations. I participate on autopilot. Smile at the right moments. Laugh at the right jokes. But I'm hyper-aware of every move David makes. The way he twirls his wine glass. How his eyes find mine when no one's looking. The slight smirk when Michael mentions my yoga classes. It's torture. Beautiful, excruciating torture. Then Rachel starts talking about marriages. About how rare it is to find what Michael and I have. You guys are literally perfect together, she says, raising her glass. The wine turns sour in my mouth. To Sarah and Michael, someone toasts. I want to scream. Want to confess everything. Want to run. Instead, I smile and kiss Michael's cheek when he turns to me with love in his eyes. David's knuckles are white around his fork. The bathroom provides brief escape. I splash cold water on my face. Stare at my reflection. Who is this woman? This liar? This cheater? A soft knock makes me jump. Sarah? It's David's voice. You okay? I shouldn't open the door. I do anyway. He slips inside, locks the door behind him. We can't, I whisper, but I'm already moving toward him. I know, he says, but his hands are in my hair. His lips find mine. Desperate. Hungry. Wrong. So wrong. Someone walks past the bathroom. We freeze. My heart pounds so loud I'm sure everyone can hear it. I can't keep doing this, I say when we break apart. Then tell him. What? Tell Michael. End it. Be with me. The world tilts on its axis. Are you crazy? It would destroy him. And this won't? When he finds out. He won't find out. But even as I say it, I know it's naive. These things always come out eventually. I love you, David says. The words hang between us like smoke. Toxic. Intoxicating. Don't. It's true. I'm married to your best friend. I know. God, don't you think I know that? More footsteps in the hallway. We need to get back, I say, straightening my dress. He grabs my arm before I can leave. Think about what I said. I don't respond. Can't respond. Because deep down, I know he's right. This can't go on forever. Something has to give. Back at the dinner table, Michael squeezes my hand. You okay? You seem flushed. I manage a smile. Just a bit warm. Another lie. Add it to the pile. The rest of the evening passes in a haze of anxiety and stolen glances. Every time David speaks, I hear his words from the bathroom. Tell him. End it. Be with me. By the time we leave, I'm exhausted. Drained from maintaining appearances. From pretending everything is fine. From wanting what I can't have. In the car, Michael talks about work. About a new project. About deadlines and meetings. I make appropriate noises at appropriate times. But my mind is elsewhere. In a bathroom with David. In his apartment last night. In all the places I shouldn't be. My phone buzzes in my purse. I know without looking it's from David. I know I'll read it later. I know I'll respond. I know this spiral isn't over. Because the truth is, I don't want it to be. Not yet. Even though it should be. Even though it has to be. Eventually. But not tonight. Tonight, I'll go home with my husband. I'll lie beside him in our bed. I'll pretend I deserve his trust. His love. And tomorrow I'll make the same choices all over again. Because that's what addiction feels like. And David? David is my favorite drug. Even if he's slowly killing everything I used to be. Everything I used to believe in. Everything I used to love. Including myself. I never expected it to end like this. With an anonymous text message. With my whole world crashing down around me. It's been 3 weeks since Rachel's dinner party. 3 weeks of increasingly risky meetings with David. 3 weeks of lying to Michael. Until today. I'm at my desk at the real estate office when my phone buzzes. Unknown number. The message is simple: check your email. My hands shake as I open my inbox. There it is. Subject line: your husband should know. Photos. Dozens of them. David and me outside his apartment. In the coffee shop. Kissing in the parking lot. Someone's been watching us. Someone's been documenting everything. The last photo makes my blood run cold. It's from Rachel's dinner party. David and me. In the bathroom. The email ends with, "I'm sending these to Michael at 5 p.m. today. Thought you deserved a warning." The room spins. I barely make it to the bathroom before I throw up. This is it. The moment I've been dreading. The consequences I've been avoiding. My phone rings. It's David. Of course it's David. Did you get it too? His voice is tight with panic. Yes. What are we going to do? We. Like we're in this together. But we're not, are we? Because when this breaks, I'm the one who loses everything. My marriage. My family. My reputation. Sarah? Are you there? I have to tell him first, I whisper. Before he sees the photos. I'll come with you. No. The word comes out sharper than intended. No, David. I have to do this alone. Silence on the line. I love you, he says finally. But the words don't comfort me anymore. They just remind me of everything I'm about to lose. I call Michael's office. His secretary says he's in meetings all day. Won't be done until 4:30. Half an hour before the photos go out. I text him, we need to talk. It's important. Please come home early. His response is immediate, everything okay? No. Nothing is okay. Nothing will ever be okay again. Please, I text back. Just come home. The drive home is a blur. Seattle traffic moves like molasses. Every red light feels like an eternity. My phone keeps buzzing. David. Rachel. I ignore them all. The house is quiet when I arrive. Too quiet. Like it knows what's coming. I pace the living room, rehearsing what to say. How do you? Of my perfect life. The Seattle rain starts to fall, washing away everything. Except the guilt. That, I suspect, will stay with me forever. A permanent reminder of the moment I became the villain in my own story. The moment I lost everything. Including myself. 6 months have passed since that day. 6 months of lawyers and paperwork. Of dividing up a decade of memories. Of watching my life unravel thread by thread. I haven't seen Michael since. Everything goes through our attorneys now. The divorce will be final next week. David calls sometimes. Late at night when he's been drinking. Telling me he misses me. That we can start over somewhere new. I never answer. Some mistakes you don't get to fix. Some bridges stay burned. I moved in with Rachel temporarily. My sister, the only person who didn't completely turn her back on me. Though I see the disappointment in her eyes sometimes. The questions she wants to ask but doesn't. The judgment she tries to hide. I deserve it all. Today, I'm packing the last of my things from the house. Michael made sure to be gone. His lawyer gave me a 2-hour window. The house feels different now. Empty. Cold. Like it knows what happened here. Our wedding photos are gone from the walls. The spaces they left are lighter squares on the faded paint. Like memories bleached by the sun. I find his note in the kitchen drawer. The one he wrote the morning everything fell apart. Have a great day, beautiful. Love you always. The paper crumples in my fist. I don't deserve to keep it. Don't deserve to remember when things were good. When I was worthy of his love. The doorbell rings. My heart stops. But it's just the movers. Here to take my boxes to my new apartment. A small place downtown. Far from our old neighborhood. Far from the whispers and stares. As they load the last box, I take one final walk through the house. The bedroom where we spent countless Sunday mornings. The kitchen where we danced while making dinner. The living room where everything fell apart. My phone buzzes. A text from David. I miss you. I delete it without responding. Some love stories don't get happy endings. Some mistakes follow you forever. The front door closes behind me with a final click. I hand the keys to the real estate agent. Another agent. Not me. I lost my license after the scandal. Too many clients uncomfortable with the woman who cheated on her husband with his best friend. Small towns have long memories. Even cities like Seattle. The rain starts as I drive away. It feels fitting. Nature washing away my last connection to the life I destroyed. Rachel is waiting when I get home. Home. Such a strange word now. You okay? She asks. I manage a nod. But we both know it's a lie. I haven't been okay since that text message 6 months ago. Since I watched Michael's heart break in real time. Since I became the cautionary tale. The villain. The chia. That night, I lie awake in my temporary bed. Thinking about choices, about consequences, about the person I used to be, the person I became, the person I might still become. My phone lights up. Michael's name. The first direct contact in 6 months. My hands shake as I read the message. I forgive you. Not for you, but for me. I need to let this go. The tears come then. Not the desperate sobs of 6 months ago, but quiet tears. Cleansing tears. Because his forgiveness is more than I deserve. More than I dared hope for. But it doesn't fix anything. Doesn't change what I did. Doesn't bring back what we lost. It just means he can move on. And maybe, someday, so can I. Not today. Not tomorrow. But someday. Because that's the thing about destroying your life. You have to build a new one. Brick by brick. Choice by choice. Day by day. Until maybe, just maybe, you become someone worthy of forgiveness. Even if that someone isn't who you thought you'd be. Even if that life isn't the one you planned. Even if that story isn't the one you thought you were writing. Because sometimes the hardest stories to tell are the ones where we're not the hero. Where we're the one who caused the pain. Where we're the one who has to live with the consequences. But those stories need to be told too. As warnings. As lessons. As reminders that one choice can change everything. That love isn't always enough. That trust, once broken, leaves scars that never fully heal. And as I lie here in the dark, reading Michael's message again and again, I know one thing for certain. This isn't the end of my story. Just the end of the chapter 1 thought I was writing. The rest is still blank pages. Waiting to be filled. With redemption, maybe. With growth, hopefully. With forgiveness, eventually. Starting with forgiving myself. Though that might be the hardest part of all. End.